Monday, April 13th at 6 p.m. in the boardroom of the Robstown Administration Building, 801 North First Street, Robstown, Texas, at which time the agenda items will be discussed. In the course of the meeting, the board may change the order of business at its discretion without advance notice. First item on the agenda, call to order, roll call.
Yvette Villalobos present.
Eric Atu present.
Cesar Martinez present.
Lori Garza present. Not with us at the moment. Eric Gallegos, Mario Mesa Jr., and Bobby Maruquin. Next item on the agenda, moment of silence, prayer. Dr. Puig, would you like to lead us in prayer, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam President. If you all will bow your heads with me. Father God, we are so grateful for your presence this evening. Heavenly Father, today we celebrate all of the work and love that these students and staff and teachers and community have poured in to Robstown ISD, Lord. And we thank you for the strength you've given all of us to do your work here in Robstown ISD. Lord, you tell us in Paul 8:6 that our mind is to be governed by the Spirit. And if we do that, we will have life and peace. And with that, Lord, we pray for the Maruquin family and give them peace tonight as they deal with the difficult loss. We ask all this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Puig. Next item, Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, everybody. Next item on the agenda, our vision and mission statements. Trustees.
Our vision statement is to ignite brilliance and impact lives by providing transformative learning opportunities that empower students for generations to come.
Our mission statement, to empower, inspire, and invest in our students and staff, igniting the best version of themselves. Together, we positively impact our community and the world. Next item on the agenda, public participation. Ms. Idema? None? Thank you, Ms. Idema. Next item on the agenda, awards and recognitions. Dr. Puig.
Thank you, Madam President. Trustees, this time we'd like to invite Katrina Alejandro for a riveting celebration tonight. Yeah. Wow.
We do have a riveting celebration tonight, and we are going to begin with our Proud You're a Picker Awards. We have two employees who will be receiving the Proud You're a Picker Award. I'd like to call up Mr. Ron Laver and Miss Anissa Chavera.
Totally. All right. Mrs. Chavetta, Mr. Laver, come on. All right. Yes, we have a few things to say. And Mr. Martinez.
Katrina's going to read it, sir.
Oh, she is. Okay. Okay. You got it. Okay. You got it?
All right, so this past Tuesday was a baseball game last Tuesday against Cal Allen. So tonight we're recognizing these two individuals who have gone above and beyond. During the baseball game against Cal Allen, the scoreboard may not have reflected the outcome we hoped for, but what happened beyond the field showed the true heart of Picker Nation. After two Cal Allen players hit home runs, a spectator approached Mrs. Chavetta asking if there was any way to locate those balls to the family so the families could keep them as special keepsakes. Without hesitation, Mrs. Chavetta reassured them that we would do everything possible to locate those balls. Mrs. Chavetta then reached out to Mr. Laver, who stepped up immediately and went above and beyond. As Mr. Martinez worded it, he climbed onto the roof to retrieve the actual balls that were needed. Thanks to their determination and compassion, those families were able to take home lasting memories of that special moment. This act was not about rivalry. It was not about wins or losses. It was about character, compassion, and respect. And in that moment, Mrs. Chavetta and Mr. Laver exemplified service, one of our core values at Robstown ISD. They showed what it truly means to be a cotton picker. We led with heart, we serve others, and we go the extra mile. So thank you both for that.
I just want to add to that. I actually nominated Mr. Lovert, Ms. Chavera for the Proud Year Pick Award. I just want to say thank you. What we would have expected, people, the rivalry between Calan and Robstown is real. And when that spectator approached Ms. Chavera, her comments were, I feel like we can ask you, but they told me not to because y'all wouldn't do anything. So, what they did reassured them that, though we're rivals on the field, we're neighbors with community. So thank you, Mr. Lover, Ms. Chavera. And I had gone to go get some baseballs, but they were old baseballs, so they weren't even the right ones. So I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry. But thank you again for literally going above and beyond, sir. Thank you.
Next up, we have our Superintendent's Igniting Brilliance Awards, and these will be to our state powerlifting teams. And I know there's a lot of y'all, which is great. I'm going to read a little something, and then I will call you guys up individually. All right. So as we know, tonight we are recognizing our Robstown Early College High School student athletes who have made history. The Robstown girls powerlifting team has made history securing their 5th consecutive THSWPA state championship at the state meet held on March 20th. 5 times. So leading the way was Paloma Calderon, who earned first place in her weight class, along with 4 outstanding honors, including outstanding lightweight lifter, overall lifter, outstanding lightweight squat, lightweight bench press, and lightweight deadlift. Additionally, top finishers included Kaylee Galvan, Catarina Herrera, and Gavigail Martinez. In his first year coaching, Coach Tony Ramon was named most winning coach of the meet. Great job. So at this time, we will recognize the girls, and then we will go on to the boys. So first up, we have Ariela Villarreal, senior. She also got 12th place at the meet, and then she earned second team academic all-state. So brains academics. Next, Catarina Herrera. She also was on the elite team academic all-state, and she earned second place at the meet. Kimberly Limon Hernandez, junior, and she earned 6th place at state. Leia Vela, sophomore, and she earned 11th place. Is she here? No? Okay. Kylie Galvan, senior, and she earned 1st place. Paloma Calderon, senior, 1st place. Outstanding lightweight lifter, overall lifter, squat and deadlift, and bench press. Everything lifter. Juliana Castillo, freshman, and she earned 11th place. Great job. Gavigail Martinez, sophomore, who earned 3rd place. Is Coach Katie Reese here? I didn't see her. No? Okay. Well, Coach Katie Reese. And Coach Tony Ramon, most winning coach. Well, I was going to announce him with the boys, but. Okay, Coach Hernandez, too. His might be in the other stack. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take the girls' picture first. And then all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right, great. All right. So, about 1 week later, we also made history again with our boys earning their first THSPA state championship in program history. So, let's give them a Gilbert Rios led the team as a state champ, earning first place in his weight class. Ricardo Reese earned second place, and Gabe Garza also secured third, with additional strong finishes across the team. The team was guided by coach Josh Hernandez, who was recognized also as the winning coach of the meet, highlighting the leadership of strength of this program. Together, these accomplishments mark a defining moment for Robstown Early College High School powerlifting for our boys and girls programs. So congratulations again, guys and girls. So at this time, I will call up the boys team. First up is Gilbert Rios, senior, who earned first place. Gabriel Garza, senior, third place. Also, I heard he will be doing a college signing in 2 weeks, so. Aaron De La Rosa, senior, sixth place. Ethan Vasquez, sophomore, eighth place. Ricardo Ruiz, senior, second place. Emmanuel Martinez, junior, 14th place. Jesse Hernandez, junior, 13th place. And Coach Joshua Hernandez, most winning coach. Woo! Also, girls, hang around because I want to get a group picture. Hopefully none of the girls left. Wait, Kim. Just wait. Oh, we're great job. Girls, you want to jump in? One more. Ready? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Great job. We have one more recognition, but I'll just pause for a second. Okay, next up, we have our Heart of Gold recipients. The Heart of Gold recognizes individuals who exemplify extraordinary acts of courage and compassion here at Robstown ISD. This award is spearheaded by our RASD Chief of Police, Chief Tito Tagle. So, Chief, if you want to.
Real quick, parents, before you leave, just real quick, I don't think I'll catch everyone. I just want to, on behalf of the board, compliment the parents for your passion and instilling the discipline and drive and determination and brilliance in these kids. Parents, your children are a reflection of you, and this award is a reflection of your investment in your kids. God bless you, and thank you all for everything.
Thank you, guys. Go Red. Congratulations.
Okay. Okay, so our first Heart of Gold recipient is 5th grader at Robert Driscoll STEM Academy, Jax Ramon. Oh, yes. Yes. All right, so Jax demonstrated outstanding courage and compassion when he quickly stepped in to help a classmate who was choking. Without hesitation, he recognized the situation and he took action to ensure that his peer received help. His awareness and willingness to assist others reflects strong character and leadership. We are incredibly proud of Jax for showing what it truly means to care for and look out for others. Thank you so much, Jax. Our second Heart of Gold recipient this evening is Andrea Garcia, cafeteria manager at Lots Beach Leadership Academy. Is she- Okay. Ms. Garcia, we are also so grateful for you. On Friday, March 20th, Ms. Garcia acted swiftly and courageously when a student began choking in the cafeteria. She performed the Heimlich maneuver on a child who was choking on chips, helping to ensure the student's safety. Her quick thinking and decisive action exemplify the care and commitment that we have for every child in our district. Thank you so much, Ms. Garcia, just for being aware, being alert, and acting quickly. Thank you. No. Oh, that is all of the recipients.
We're amongst winners, ladies and gentlemen. We are blessed. We're blessed. Thank you, Ms. Katrina. Next item on the agenda, President remarks. So we will have Summer Leadership Conference in San Antonio, June 10th through the 13th. I believe registration is open. Is that correct, Ms. Irma? Okay, so if anybody is interested in attending, okay, please let Dr. Puig know. He'll
Sure.
register us.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Lori. You said, are we presenting?
We haven't been awarded yet.
Okay.
We did submit.
Okay. Because I will only be there Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, so Fridays,
Friday, I won't be able to be there.
but you can do Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, we check in Wednesday, but I'll be there Thursday for the whole conference. Friday, I'll be going out to the show.
So we need to work on getting that for Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Just in case we do get awarded the.
So I will be there, sir. I will be flying in from Washington on Wednesday, so I'll probably be at the hotel very late Wednesday night. Larry, will you be going? Yvette? Yes. Next item, superintendent reports. Dr. Puig.
Thank you, Madam President and trustees. I'm going to ask my colleague, Tiger Gonzalez, to put up the presentation, the superintendent report. I want to cover primarily tonight why we're entering this board-approved voter referendum. So let's just give some backstory here. So we'll go to the next slide. Some key events that are coming up. STAR testing, EOC testing begins tomorrow. That is what I call a celebration of learning, okay? It's not testing, it's a celebration of learning. Anytime children can demonstrate what they know, it's a celebration. So no reason to have anxiety about it. Do what you do because the kiddos are prepared because their teachers and staff and principals have done an extraordinary job. I was sharing with our team, I don't know if I've been this excited about a STAR test in EOC. I told Ms. Chavetta here moments ago when we visited. I'm just excited about it, Mrs. Trevino. I know you are too. Pedagogical gurus over here. And then just real quick on that slide, too, we have 2 town halls to talk about the voter referendum. One is in person at Hattie Martin, 6 o'clock Wednesday. And then we have the virtual on Thursday. And then we added the annual banquet there just so you can have that on your calendar. So let's jump into the next slide here and just focus on the last row. That's been the topic of conversation all year. We've lost 121 students. I was training today alongside Ms. Esteros. I think it's our 4th or 5th training development on deficit budgets. And what we learned today across the state, this is the norm. This is the norm. We have a mass exodus of students happening, and it's something that we have to adjust. We can't be the sky is full. We can't have this, outlook of negativity. It's okay. How do we adjust as good stewards and as strategic partners, right? So what does it look like? So if you go to the next slide, we've seen this before. That loss in students equates to about $1.9 million in deficit. Okay, that's the current reality. So what do we do? If you go to the next slide, we ask ourselves, how do we create financial relief? How do we create space in the district? The trustees, myself, we've all learned alongside Robert Tejerina, our financial advisor, on what fiscal relief would look like. We all trained together. Our staff did as well. What does it look like? Well, one of the ways we create that relief is looking at restructuring our debt. There's two sides of the debt. You have some M&O debt, some INS debt, operations debt, and what they call interest and sinking, how you pay your debt. So if we look at just the M&O debt, here's where the opportunity lies. Pay very, very close attention for the folks watching home and those around the world, okay? The $9 million in M&O debt that we have right now, make sure you understand where this is comprised of. This is $9 million of debt that's comprised of retrofits, turf, roof, field house. These things are in M&O, the operation debt. Why is that? Well, when the district is operating well, trustees will go out for what they call maintenance tax notes to do repairs without having to call a traditional bond election. Does that make sense? Let me pause there. So M&O debt is very common. It's a common practice. The board and previous superintendents have worked together and done an outstanding job of stewardship. However, when the landscape changes, for example, we start to get crunched with enrollment, then we have to find a new strategy. One of the strategies we're talking about, the board read a resolution on this a few weeks ago, is taking that M&O debt and moving it over to the interest and sinking side. The state says that requires voter approval to do that. Now, let's go through that reality real quick. So if we go to the next slide, what does that look like? So on one side, I mentioned you have the operations. On the operations side, this covers the classroom supplies, our salaries, fuel, utilities, and some repairs and replacements like turf and field houses and roofs. That happens, right? That's okay when you are in a fiscally solvent situation, right? And that's okay, that's normal. On the other side, you have the interest in sinking. Interest in sinking is for past bond debt, new construction, large HVAC investments, land, major renovations. You would call a traditional bond election. This voter referendum, to be real clear, is not a traditional bond election. There is nothing being built. There's no need to build. We're contracting. So consequently, this is all about asking the voters, can we move? Can we restructure the way we have our debt. And that is almost like refinancing a house. Can we move the debt from M&O into INS? Okay, well, let's ask the question. How much M&O would we move over to INS? And what does that create for the district? So we click a button there. There's more than $1 million a year in debt payments on the M&O side. Not uncommon. When you are fiscally solvent, these are things you do. You get tax notes and you pay for projects without having to go out to a bond election to raise taxes. You just absorb that within your M&O. Now, what the voter referendum is asking the citizens of Robstown to do is to transfer that M&O to INS. So we click the button. That movement of the M&O to the INS requires board approval. If you see the parenthetical there, the parenthetical says what, Mr. Martinez? Can you read that?
Transfer M&O debt to INS with voter approval in May does not increase tax rate.
Oh, your mic's off.
Sorry. Okay, that said transfer M&O debt to INS with voter approval in May does not increase tax rate.
So that thank you, sir. So that transfer doesn't increase, but it does move debt from one side of the ledger to the other, right? But what's the implication there for the taxpayers we should be asking? So what's the implication? We go to the next slide. Well, one implication is you zap that out on the M&O side. Now let's go to the next slide, just so everyone's tracking. What are the results of the restructured debt? Oh, there we go. So if you look under the M&O bucket, you'll see there is more than $1 million for salaries and student programming, right? You just freed up that M&O pipeline for salaries and student programming. Does that make sense? But if you go to the INS side, once you move that debt over, I want everyone to hear this clearly. Ms. Cisneros, and correct me if I'm wrong. We have a very, very robust INS fund balance. I say general fund, I said INS fund balance. Am I correct? Okay, so, which our financial advisors have talked about with this team. So, because we are in that situation that we have extra funds on the INS side, you can pay debt off early to the tune of $3.4 million and save the taxpayers $3.4 million. You can lower the interest rate, probably below 3%. Right now it'd be 4.62 around there, but you get it below 3 now. And Mr. Martinez just read this, and that is no tax rate increase. So those are the three benefits, facts for the taxpayers, if that makes sense. Okay? I'll pause there. Questions? Did anybody want to comment about the ballot requirement?
I was going to ask that question. Just, as you mentioned, sir, for those who are watching or will watch this later, want to reassure the community, as you've already said there'll be no tax rate increase. And, as it was stated in the resolution that I read last month, it is required by law that the ballot read, "This will be a tax increase." I believe those are the words. But we want to reassure the community that that isn't true. It's just required by law that we put that in there, so for them not to be confused when they go to the ballot. And again, this is in May, so it'll be here in about 3 weeks or so.
Question,
Mr.
sir.
Secretary. Yes, ma'am.
Question. Now, if for some reason that they're not convinced that this will be in fact not a tax increase and they choose to vote no, what does this mean? How would that impact
We would
our
have
community?
to.
If they choose
Yeah.
not to we're not able to do as you're suggesting.
So the voter referendum does not pass.
Right.
What's the implication there? Well, we're going to
Yes.
have to really tighten our belts. Yeah. Super. Yeah. Really, really, really tighten our belts. You won't have that extra relief in the general fund. That makes sense.
Dr. Quick, has Robstown ISD passed this before? Ever?
We have passed bond elections, but we've never done the movement of debt from one side to the other, probably because it's never really been something the district has needed to do.
So we're asking this, sir, to say, we're wanting to do this to help continue pay the salaries. We're wanting to help, continue to pay supplies, to continue to do as we're doing now without having to really kind of, I guess, let teachers go or, anything like that, and that, not be able to afford certain things, that we're able to do it now. So this is why we're asking the community to support us in this, correct?
Well, as your resolution said, it supported everything you just said right there. The resolution that you all unanimously passed last month. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't want to start rumors that we may have a reduction of force, but the reality for me, for example, I live in Robstown. I've lived in Robstown my whole life. I graduated from here. I'm a taxpayer. So for me, I have several credit cards, right? Some I use for different reasons and different purposes. So for me, if I have 2 credit cards and one of them has a higher interest, then I'm going to want to transfer that balance to my lower interest credit card. That, to me, that's what I would like to for our viewers to see or hear. And not only that, but we voted for this referendum unanimously. Now, in our community, we've been entrusted to represent them and do what's best for our district with our funds, right? We only have certain things. We have only certain responsibilities as taxpayer, and one of them is to approve the tax rate. So I know what the ballot's gonna say, and it will say this will be a tax increase. And I'm sitting here in a publicly called meeting that is not what's going to happen. So I hope that we do have viewers out there that really trust, because this is going to come down to trust. It is. So as a taxpayer, as a school board member, as somebody who was born and raised here, I hope that we get enough supporters out there, because this is going to save us money. This is going to save the taxpayer money. And I don't know how more clear we could get other than you're going to read something, but it's a lie. That's hard to
Dishonesty.
Yeah, that's
Dishonesty.
hard. That's hard to explain, and that's
Yep.
hard to have people on your side. So I really truly believe that it's just going to come down to trust. Do they trust the board members? So it was passed unanimously. So Larry, we're all from Robstown. We all live and breathe here. We all. I don't know what more else we could say, but I will be at the town hall meetings. We're going to be asked questions. We're going to be very honest. Me and Seth are thinking about doing a video together just to get more outreach, because he's very popular and everybody loves him. So we hope that we can rely on you to really help us do this, because this is our money. This is all of our money. And this is not just my money or Dr. Puig's money, but this is all of our money as a whole. And it's very important that we go out there and we vote. And hopefully we're going to get out there strong this week and try to get the word out. But I don't know how else I can explain it other than you want to transfer
Justice.
money from one bank account to another to save on interest. Am I correct, sir? That's all. That's really all this is. And if we didn't put this on the ballot, then we're not doing our jobs as board members to save the community money. So the voice is really yours, everybody out there. It's up to you to vote and yes or no. Do you want to save money? I would say yes. If you don't want to save money, then I would say no. But I know it's hard. It's going to say
And it's like you
tax
said,
rate
it's like you
increase.
said, Ms. Garza, we're all taxpayers. We're all a part of this community. So it will affect all of us. So I know I don't want to pay anymore. I mean, so if I'm saying it's not going to increase it, I'm standing by that. It's not going to increase it. So it's like Ms. Garza said, it's all about the trust of the community in the elected officials that you put up here to represent you. You trusted us for a reason, and this is where we're asking you to continue that trust.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, trustees. I think I have one more slide, and it ties into the tax rate. And just so everyone can see here in our community and those watching around the world, you see the tax rate has dropped significantly. But if you go back to 2019, when real M&O, and M&O is tax rate is in red, you'll start to see the compression from 107 really down to 76 cents. The state has compressed significantly, and the state is not interested in increasing the tax rate, in case you haven't read much about tax compression in the last 6 years. So, this is the tax rate that has significantly declined. Here you can see over the last 10 years, and it underscores what the trustees just said a moment ago. One last slide, and just so everyone's aware, the extracurricular handbook committee is in the house and they're ready to present right now for your board approval. I'm joking. Joking. We have, we'd never do that to you all. We have the first draft, and now my team is looking at it, Mrs. Alanis and I, and then we're going to continue to collaborate and cooperate with the extracurricular handbook committee. Grateful for their initiative and their just putting their brilliance on this much needed regulation. The last one is EIC policy. We talked about the board made some changes to that. We also have a committee in place for that. Mrs. Trevino and I talked about putting that together with Ms. Spivey and some others. We have talked to TASB policy consultant on that one. They've given us some really good suggestions to kind of bolster that one even a little bit more beyond what the board did previously. So with that, Madam President, trustees, that concludes my update for this evening.
Dr. Puig, can we put this one back on the agenda for next month? Because remember we were going to talk about it. And
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. See.
Next item on the agenda, presentation informational items. Dr. Puig.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Madam President, trustees. We have experienced some very mighty donors here for the upcoming Tech Connect, and I'll let Dr. Medrano talk more about that here in just a bit. But I'd like to give a shout out to UTeach PD for their $1,000 donation, platinum sponsors for Tech Connect. Padlet as well, $1,000. Our gold sponsors, $750 each. It's DMAC Solutions and School AI. And our bronze sponsor at $250 is ClassLink. So again, grateful for their generous contributions to our district. And Dr. Medrano, thank you for always nudging our vendors to invest. Thank you. And next up, Madam President, we have Mr. Josh Garcia with the academic update, and he'll be joined by Mrs. Silvas as well with a TIA update.
Is that on? Yeah. Okay. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Puig, members of the board. I will also be inviting Dr. Rachel Medrano. She does have a piece of our academic update too. Okay. So everything we do, let's see if it's on. Nope, it's not. Okay. Everything we do, of course, in teaching and learning is rooted in our vision, mission, and our core values. Today, we are also always aligning to our strategic plan, our pillars of teaching and learning, Tier 1, PLC, learning walks, and coaching. Today, our informational items, of course, will give you a quick update on LASSO 4, our grants for LIFT coming into support for next school year, already starting the ground running on that one. We'll give a blended learning grant update, and then we'll also talk about Tech Connect and then finish up with TIA. LASSO 4 updates, we did talk about this last month of the award that we got for those 3 grants, and then our prep mentor allotments that we'll be working with different provider. Obviously, the HQIM implementation instructional leadership support is the LIFT grant, and then we did get the PLC grant for our SI schools listed there, Lots Beach, Robert Driscoll, and Seal Junior High. I did want to note that moving forward, we did select a approved provider for those grants for LIFT and PLC. We did have a rigorous process. We did a first round interviews of 6 approved providers by the state of Texas, and which we then moved on to a second round. We did call up 3 approved providers to come in person and to deliver some coaching sessions and to look at how they actually would teach model lessons. So we did not take it lightly. Obviously, we are getting some great funds from the state of Texas, so we want to make sure that we picked a provider that was aligned to our vision and our mission and to see who would best support our teachers and our staff. So we did go with Great Minds. They were already working with us for K-5 math, but they are going to lead the initiative for K through Algebra 1 math, and then also K through 5 reading planning with the grant for that. Just to show you, we're already looking at our needs assessment, already starting the ground running for LASSO 4, doing some deliverables, putting that in with our partners from Great Minds, so that way we can see where do we stand for next year, where are we going to need the most support, and then also looking at K-5 RLA to see how we're going to start that support with them. So although it's not not next year, but we're already starting. We're already starting for that support. But yeah, so that's where we are on LASSO. We want to talk about blended learning, how we're doing, and what we're doing next with blended learning. I'm going to invite Dr. Medrano for that.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Puig, and board members. We came to you last year to let you know that we were awarded this grant. We got $375,000 for 2 years. We decided to implement this at Robert Driscoll and Seal, and we also partnered with UTeach PD, and they're the ones that give us essentially our blended learning professional development. Since August, our teachers and our instructional coaches have gone through 250 continuing education hours with them. Yes, Dr. Puig, 250 hours. They are definitely learning the best practices of blended learning, how to take their classrooms and really hit one of our pillars, Tier 1, while also working with their Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. So what does blended learning look like? This is what it looks like at Robert Driscoll. Essentially, we call them studios. They are traditionally called stations, but students are grouped, and they, at each individual station or studio, they are doing something different, and it's all based on data. So our teachers are looking even further into data. They are taking their level up to the next list or the next level, and students actually have choice. So the playlists that are in the top middle, and there's 2 examples on the outside, essentially students keep track of what they're doing in their classrooms. And this is all the way down in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade at Robert Driscoll. So we have 2nd grade babies that are keeping track of what they're doing in class, their activities, and moving on to the next level. So our teachers that are involved at Lovely Driscoll is these lovely teams. We have Ms. Bosquez, Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Ruiz, Ms. Gallegos, of course, our principal, Gianna Morales, and our instructional coach, Jeanette Castaneja. So at Seal, looks very different, but it's all blended learning, which is great. So at blended learning, or at Seal, what's great about them is we have it at 2 teachers, Ms. Buterak-Jones and Ms. Mondragon, sorry. What Ms. Mondragon has done is she has created these elaborate Canva presentations that her kids keep track of their activities again. They do rotate through them, and you might or might not be able to see it, but there is a TV in the top corner that actually they physically go up and track where their progress is throughout the day, throughout her class period, to show that they've completed, or they have questions, or they have not even touched that particular activity. It has been amazing to see how these classrooms have transformed, how the students are begging to be part of blended learning in these classrooms. Ms. Morales has even revealed that at Driscoll, teachers are asking to be part of blended learning next year. So they are now volunteering to be part of blended learning, which is very, very powerful. So at Seal, as I mentioned, it's Ms. Buterak-Jones, Ms. Mondragon, and then our instructional coach, Ms. Bruce Beltran, and Ms. Chaveta. So what does next steps look like? At Driscoll, we're going from 4 teachers to 15 teachers that are blended learning next year. There are 2 per grade level, kinder and through 5th, and we have to have a math representative and a reading representative. Then there's a few extra spots. So again, the volunteers. There are going to be some grade levels where almost every teacher in that grade level will be blended learning next year, which we're beyond excited about. So the teachers that have experienced it with it this year will help support next year. And as the third point, it really is more student focused. It's more student centered. And it's, again, been awesome to see at Driscoll. At Seal, we're going from 2 teachers to 8 teachers. So their entire reading and math departments will both be blended learning completely. And we are looking to see how we can get them dedicated time to be able to plan, because it's a heavy lift. It's a big, heavy lift. But our teachers embraced it, and they are doing amazing stuff. We presented a couple weeks ago to TEA, UT, and Texas Tech, our amazing teams at Driscoll and Seal, and we blew them away. They were speechless. One of them actually came on and said, "I'm so impressed with what you guys are doing in Robstown." So it was great to see. We're actually doing a district showcase May 6th, May 5th, sorry, May 5th in Dallas at the Blended Learning Summit. So Mr. Garcia and myself will present what we're doing with blended learning to everyone that's just got LASSO 4. So we're really excited about that. Which leads me to Tech Connect.
Hold on. Hold on.
Sorry.
Real
Sorry.
quick on blended learning, just explain the power of student self-efficacy, their metacognition, their agency, owning those activities themselves.
It's, as Dr. Puig is saying, they own it. They own their learning. They feel beyond proud when they're able to go at their pace and still get all the tier 1 instruction, but also get the support that's needed at times with specific TEKs or specific skills. So students don't feel, I've seen it, I believe Mr. Garcia has seen it, they don't feel afraid to ask questions when they're in the small group working with the teachers. And the teachers are getting up, they monitor what's happening in the classroom, but there's no teacher standing up front, this da-da-da-da-da. It's more of you see all these groups and they're in charge of their learning and they get to run with it. And it is new for our lovely district. And again, our teachers have embraced it. There's been a shift, I can say, at those 2 campuses and the classrooms that have already implemented it. We really are seeing some great changes and the students excited to be there every day. The students are actually asking to do blended learning every single day because they like it.
Yeah, because we started one day a week, 2 days a week, and then so some students were like, let's do blended learning every day.
And Miss Mondragon does it every day.
Let's do it.
We can do it, man. We can do it. We can. Do little station rotations. We can do it. It's great. It's very powerful. It really is. Because it's at their level, which is great. And the tier 1 keeps happening. So very, very powerful.
Awesome.
Tech Connect? Thank you. Okay. Yay, it's our 5th year. I can't believe it's year 5. It's kind of crazy. It's coming up fast.
That's crazy.
But you've got a tech friend in me. There might be a movie coming out in June that we're leaning against. But also Dr. Puig charged me this year to look at AI and look at what's happening with AI and what's happening with learning that's happening in the classroom. So we came up with this theme because AI could potentially be a friend that can help you. It's not meant to replace you. It's not meant to do your thinking. It's meant to help you and to potentially be a little bit of a thought partner. And so we have gathered an amazing group of speakers. Carl Hooker has actually written a book called The Learning Evolution, and he talks about what AI has done to the classroom and what it could do in a good way moving forward. But what we're wanting to do with Tech Connect this year is inform our teachers and surrounding areas just the power of AI, that it's not meant to be scary. It's meant to be helpful and a powerful tool. So all these speakers that are up here have a background in AI. Debbie Tannenbaum, she's also written books. Her background is elementary in AI. But all of them have amazing sessions that are coming up. We will also have sessions like Basics in Canva and Advanced Canva, and those are just kind of a handful of the sessions we're going to offer. Last year we offered over 90 sessions. I'm not sure how many we will offer this year yet. They're still coming in, but we are very, very excited. Last year we had 2 registrations at this time of year. As of the beginning of this meeting, we had 72 registrations already coming in, and we already have 7 different districts coming, and our furthest is Huntsville ISD.
Wow.
So our conference is spreading. We're very, very excited about it, and you are more than welcome to come. I know Mr. Martinez joined us last year.
I learned a little bit about Canva.
Well, if you want to learn a little bit more, Ms. Katrina Alejandro is presenting on Canva. But yes, we would love to have you guys come. We offer such a variety from beginner to advanced. So come on over.
I'm in pre-beginner.
That's okay, ma'am.
Offer that too? Kindergarten.
We offer every level, so that you can find a tech friend by the end of the conference.
Awesome.
Now Miss Silvis with TIA. I know who Miss Silvis's tech friend is.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Puig. A short TIA update tonight. We've only made 4 stops. Aww, but those have been big stops. Prior to this meeting, of course, we shared with you that we had updated our, uploaded our application. And within our journey this month, we of course attended a webinar, but we met with the rural cohort, which was a really important meeting on March the 24th. And they helped us review our application, our new application, and then we made some tweaks on their recommendation. And then we attended a training on Data Suite and data. And then on the 7th, we actually let it go. And we submitted our application, final application. So we're excited to hear back. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but that's where we're at this point. Short,
Sweet.
to the point. Questions? Anyone? Any questions on TIA? We keep traveling.
Just real quick, Ms. Silvas, talk a little bit about the TIA presentation and TEA's approval of that coming up.
We were notified, of course, we were selected to present, and it's at the same time that the summer conference is going on in San Antonio. So we will be presenting at the TIA conference, but our presentation must be approved by TEA first. Never have we, in my years that I've ever presented, does it need to go to TEA for approval. So we are working, we have a date. We have several meeting dates on our calendar.
Was that you, sir? Was that
So
you?
that we can submit our
I think that was Dr.
presentation
Puig.
to- Pardon?
I think that was Dr. Puig. Sir, was that you?
No, not at all.
No.
No point.
It's official.
But I was explaining to Ms. Silvas, you know, this initiative is, if the commissioner is listening, it is his baby. It is the agency's baby, and so they just want to ensure alignment. You can't blame them for wanting to ensure alignment across everyone's presentation. So
So we do have a
expect that.
deadline to submit it to TA for approval, and then they'll, get back with us. But yes, of course, it is his initiative, and ensuring that every presentation is actually aligned with the vision of what TIA should be, and that the information that we're presenting is accurate information that's aligned to the TIA requirements. But we're still excited to present, even though we're going to have to get that type of approval. But I'm sure we'll get it. We'll be fine. We're excited to present.
I'm sure you're going to do great.
Oh, we're
Of course.
Have to be
I
very
agree with
You
cautious.
get it back,
Alanis.
you get approval back in time for your presentation.
Pardon?
I said, I'm hoping you get approval in time for your presentation.
Well, it's
Oh.
only 2 weeks, so they have.
Oh,
like 2
okay.
months
Okay, perfect, okay.
Yes,
You got it. Okay.
yes, we should be in good shape. All righty, thank you much.
Thank you. Great update, guys. Next item, Dr. Puig, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Trustees, at this time, we'd like to invite the esteemed colleague here in the room, Mrs. Blanton, to give us the required special education performance per Senate Bill 568, ma'am.
Senate Bill 568 indeed. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Puig, members of the board. Beginning this year, under Senate Bill 568, we're required to present an annual report to the Board of Trustees on special education performance. So I will walk you through our results-driven accountability performance rating, including where we are, what contributed to that rating, and what we're doing to facilitate improvement for our students. Okay? All right. Okay, our work in special education is, of course, grounded in the district's vision to ignite brilliance and transform lives. Special education is not a separate system. It is fully integrated into our district's mission to empower and invest in all students. Our decisions are guided by our core values, especially when serving our most vulnerable learners. All right, so the state evaluates special education programs through what's called results-driven accountability, or affectionately referred to as RDA. The system measures not only compliance, but also student outcomes and program effectiveness. So I will share with you our performance measures, data trends, comparisons to region and state, and the strategies we are implementing to improve. All right, now I apologize ahead of time for all the words on this slide. We're not going to read all of them, but you need to know that they all exist. Our rating is based on 3 domains. One is academic achievement, one is post-secondary readiness, and the last is disproportionality. This means our rating reflects not just test scores, but also graduation rates, dropout rates, student placement, and discipline data. In short, this is a comprehensive look at how well we are serving students, not just academically, but systemically. All right. So this is our 2025 performance snapshot. We received an overall performance level rating of 3 on a scale of 0 to 4, where 0 or 1 is preferred. Because we're at a performance level 3, we are monitored closely by the Texas Education Agency for corrective action. Green indicates growth in the right direction. Red indicates a decline in the wrong direction. And in the left-hand column, all of those words from the previous slide are whittled down into itty-bitty little abbreviations. Okay, don't be alarmed by the yellow. I just used that color to separate out the performance level ratings column. Let me point out some clear strengths. Our graduation rate is strong at 91.7%. Does this work over here? No, not really. Okay. So our graduation rate is strong. It's almost 92%. Our dropout rate is within state target range. We also have a high percentage, a very high percentage, comparatively speaking, of students served in inclusive settings. However, we do have some areas of concern, largely around STAR performance across core subjects. Those scores remain low, particularly in reading and math, and our English 2 and English 1 EOC scores are significantly below expectations. Additionally, disciplinary removals are high. The key takeaway is this: we're successfully graduating students, but we need to strengthen our academic mastery along the way. If we look at the trends over time, we see that this is not a one-year issue. Academic performance has declined over several years, particularly at the elementary and middle school levels. While we've seen some improvement in areas like Algebra 1 and U.S. history, overall performance remains below expectations. But this tells us that the challenge is systemic and requires a sustained, focused response. A comparison of local elementary and secondary combined STAR data to region and state performance data show our outcomes to be below both. So in the top graph, it's all STAR reading and ELA all together. It's not elementary or secondary, it's everybody all together, and the math graph on the bottom is all together. And so you'll see that we are underperforming in this area, to the region and to the state. Special education outcomes are directly tied to the strength of Tier 1 instruction. If core instruction is not strong, our most vulnerable students are impacted first and most. And you know that we're working on that every single day. All right, we are also required to share our special education CCMR, College Career Military Readiness Indicator Performance Comparison. And that's the very last indicator, CCMR Ready, the very last indicator up there. And we are the red bar. General Ed is the blue bar, we're the red bar. The region is the little yellow one right there, and the state is the green one, okay? We are outperforming CCMR points over the region and the state. Okay, that's a yes, yes. And so, well, I'd like to answer the why question. I don't know that I can, except to say that, to me, it makes sense that we're underperforming at the elementary level, right? Because kids don't come to us qualified for special education services. We don't get them for special education services until they're struggling, right? So to me, it makes sense that the scores are depressed at the elementary level because the kids don't have the skills they need to pass the tests. to make the scores that we'd like them to have. So we need a couple of years to intervene, and that sends them through junior high. And by the time they get to college, by the time they get to high school, they've had a couple of years to catch up, and they've had some solid interventions. So that's just my theory. That's my theory. So what are we doing to address our underperformance? Well, consistent with our teaching and learning pillars, we are implementing targeted learning walks. These are focused specifically on resource math and reading classrooms to identify instructional gaps in real time. Resource instruction is designed specifically to identify and remediate specific skill gaps. Targeted learning walks allow us to move beyond the mechanics, beyond compliance, and into active instructional improvement. We are providing targeted coaching in resource math, resource reading, and inclusion classrooms. The focus is not just on what to teach, but how to deliver the instruction so that students can access grade level content with appropriate supports. We are strengthening professional development in key areas. I'd like to highlight igniting Tier 1 instruction and academic manifestations. That's those first two presentations that are listed up there. Both professional development sessions were designed specifically for general education teachers to increase their comfort and familiarity with instructional and assessment accommodations, curriculum modifications, and how to interpret an IEP. Igniting inclusion support, that one on the bottom down there, is designed specifically for special education teachers and paras to explore ways to maximize the supports they're providing directly in the classrooms with the teachers and the students. We are partnering with an NIET to build strong instructional leadership teams across campuses and with Great Minds to develop a master class in internalization and backwards design. And all of this work directly addresses strengthening Tier 1 instruction. And a major shift in our work is fully integrating special education into general education systems. Special education teachers now participate in the instructional leadership teams. There's shared accountability for student outcomes. Special education is not separate. It is a reflection of the overall instructional quality. Now, that being said, despite our challenges, we've got some meaningful successes to celebrate, right? 2 campuses earned B ratings. Students transitioned from Star Alt to Star Regular at the high school level and successfully passed those tests, some of them. We had regular high school students passing the regular Star for the first time. And 1 student moved from adaptive ed into general ed and qualified to participate in the Gifted and Talented program. These outcomes reflect what is possible when instruction is aligned and expectations are high. So in closing, we believe in our students. We are committed to improving outcomes, strengthening instruction, and ensuring that every student receives a free, appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all that you do. That's great.
My
It's great to
pleasure.
see those accomplishments,
Okay, any
everyone's included.
questions or anything you want before we?
Just a comment, Mrs. Blanton, it's very obvious that you have integrated yourself, your team into the Tier 1 instruction. You have really this idea of special ed being out.
Silo. We've
Yeah.
been siloed
Siloed
for a
completely.
long time. Send
It
the
is-
kids to special ed class, teachers.
Now, I want to give it, and it's one thing to say it, but let me give a real tangible example. And it was a conversation that we had at the CEO PLC recently. Mrs. Trevino and Mrs. Blanton had a robust collegial conversation. It's important because people understand this work, right? This work that you all did together to align around delivery of services and the expectation. It was such a beautiful, vulnerable conversation.
Let's let Mrs. Trevino.
Mr. Trevino, you want to
Come here, Mrs. Trevino.
you want to talk a little bit about it? Because the conversation about special ed is the relationship, and it's between the CEO of a campus and a director of special education services. You all just, it was the best part of my day. You want to share that, please, ma'am?
Well, I mean, because those of you who know me know that I'm very fierce when it comes to my kids, and I advocate for them and the well-being of them, and I don't have a problem fighting back and questioning and why. So Sandra and I went round and round when we found out that our students were going to go from from life skills into the general ed setting, you know, based on these qualifications that the state put out. And she and I butt heads, you know, and I was like, nope, it's wrong. We're not going to do this, Sandra. What are we going to do to support these kids in the general ed? How are we going to do this? And she and I had some fierce conversations around that. But at the end of the day, you know, us able to collaborate and push up against each other was a result of those kids being successful from going from Star All to regular Star. And sometimes it takes conversations like that, but it's also being vulnerable to know that, you know, I'm not always right, or I have to be open enough to hear her expertise and just providing a safety net for our kids. And we were able to do that, and I appreciate that. But she'll tell you I was not a happy camper, you know, and I was like, okay, well, we need to make sure that we are putting things in place to support these kids. And we did that, and it worked. So for her, I thank her for her. She's just as fierce as I am. And, you know, at the end of the day, that was the result. So very appreciative of her.
I love that. Thank you for
Ms.
sharing
Trevino,
that.
for sharing that. And the reason, you know, Ms. Blanton, we're so grateful because, again, it's getting harder and harder.
It is.
For all populations, but special ed in particular. And to see the collegiality between a CEO, principal, and a CEO, sped director work what I call, you know, conflict without casualties, you know, creative conflict, is beautiful, because that's the work. It does not happen with a bunch of spreadsheets and a bunch of PowerPoints and a bunch of data. It happens with that conversation between two colleagues that are fiercely fighting for kids about igniting their brilliance. So it's just a beautiful story. So thank you for sharing that again here publicly for the whole world to hear. Thank you.
Yes, thank
The
you.
whole world is listening. Thank you.
Our world. It means our world. Dr. Prig, are we short any special ed teachers or aides right now?
I don't think so at the moment, Ms. Silvas. Are we? I know we have 1 or 2 resignations at the end of the year. Probably we'll have to fill. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead, sir.
At this time, we'd like to invite Mr. Laver up. He's ready to provide a field house update. He's excited. He's excited about his plaque tonight. He's kind of giddy over there. Go ahead, Mr.
You want a
Laver.
necklace for it, Coach Lauber?
I'm
You want a
good.
necklace so you can carry it around your neck?
No, I'm good. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. But honestly, it was actually all Miss Chavera, so I can't take the credit for that. Madam President, Dr. Puig, distinguished board members, big topic of conversation obviously is our field house. And I know I was just up here 3 weeks ago, but continued progress going on out there. Good news for the plumbing, all inspections are back. So what that means now is we start to put that ground back together. We have an indoor pouring, interior pouring that's scheduled for Wednesday, 5 in the morning. So we'll be there bright and early Wednesday. But it is a good thing that all the inspections are back from the plumbing. Moving on to the electrical, a lot of the materials are coming in. I know I saw 3 of the panels. We are working closely right now with Robstown Electric for the transformer. But we do have a plan B if that does not work out. We always want to stay local, but never to compromise the project, right? So pricing and lead time are 2 big things that play a critical role when dealing with that. So I'm hoping to hear something from Robstown Electric in the next week or 2 for the big transformer that we need. But like I said, the architect does have a plan B. He does have somebody else identified if things don't work out. HVAC, great news on the HVAC. When this first started, the project, they said it was about a 36-week lead time to get those units here, but now it's down to 8 to 12 weeks. I applaud the architect for, staying pretty vigilant on that, on his efforts there. So those have been ordered, so we're about an 8 to 12 week lead time away from getting those. Other than that, it's just a continued partnership with Hellas. They've been great, great communication. We meet every Wednesday. The contractors there, the subcontractors are there, so they're very informative and they stay in touch with me, on a weekly basis. So it's been a great partnership thus far with them. Other than that, summer projects are starting to come around. The list isn't very long, so that's great. That means we've been doing some good things throughout the year. I did meet with Mrs. Nettles today on some of the things that we want to do, just, touching up some of the, striping we need to do. There's some curbs that need to be repainted, just freshen it up a little bit. So just things like that. The buses, We shut down for 2 weeks where we do a bunch of our services, oil changes, tires, inspections, all the things that need to be done, prior to the school year starting, so we can provide a great service for, our students coming to school, get them here safely and comfortably. Other than that, that's it for me. Any questions?
Dr. Puig, Coach Lover, do you want to just give an update to the community and the board on those, the concerns that were raised at the baseball field and what you've done?
Yes. So, Mr. Laver, we had some questions that we collaborated on with respect to the bleachers and some of those things, and you and I went deep on that. You did a quick turnaround on that. You want to talk a little bit about
So
that?
we did highlight a bunch of the area that's uneven to the best of our ability, repainted it darker yellow, so it is much more visible. The boards, as many boards as we saw, we replaced. All the screws that were sticking up, we took them out, replaced them with new screws. So I think the guys did a good job of that. I walked it. I mean, we're doing our best. So if we see something, we try to fix it pretty quickly.
What about rails, sir? Are we going to put rails there?
Yeah, I think we're looking at that. We have opportunities to kind of bolster it further, and we'll talk about looking at some potential railing in those areas.
Rails are a little scary sometimes, so I'd have to definitely visit with you just because of the age of some of those bleachers. So, but it's definitely something we can look into, ma'am.
Yeah, because Cesar and I sat there that day that the complaints came in, remember? And we were talking about that.
You're talking about putting rails from the bottom to the top?
No, we were just talking about the gap between the bleacher and
the
it's
gap
like a
where you're
student,
sitting.
like a kid could fall through there. But I've never seen kids there. But we were talking about that, and then the email came in.
It's very easy for like your foot to go by. So maybe on the, I don't know where you sit, there's like this much of a gap, and it's just open. I mean, your foot can slide in there.
Behind your legs.
Yeah, right behind your legs.
Take a good look.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe a board there. I don't know how that would work, but it's like on the, I guess the bleachers that we sat on were behind the
Home
base?
the home
Third.
plate.
the home
the
yeah,
home dugout.
the home dugout.
Where you
third
did the
base,
work.
yeah.
Where you
Right.
did the work.
The wooden bleachers.
Yeah,
Yes.
the wooden ones, correct.
Okay. Yeah, definitely look into that.
Thank you, Coach Lava.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Madam President, now we have our esteemed Chief of Police, Mr. Tito Tagle.
Evening, President, Dr. Puig, board members. Start off with, we were waiting for it. Basically, we had a intruder detection audit in March. We were scheduled for one in April, and now we're scheduled for one in May. So we're pretty sure they're going to go to all our campuses here by the end of the school year. We are looking to schedule our summer session district safety committee meeting. I'm going to meet with Dr. Puig so we can get a date set, and then we'll, of course, send an email out to all our board members just to let them know when it's going to happen. I did have another grant meeting just to update on the current grant that we were part of. There still hasn't been any progress on it yet, but they said it should be coming pretty soon as far as letting us know where we stand in the grant for the, I believe it's active threat breaching equipment. We did add Dr. Medrano to the grant team with me so we can make sure that we're reaching out to every grant we can get with the best possible way. And we are currently starting our interview process for our open position with our police department. So we're hopefully moving forward with that pretty quick.
Good.
Good job, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Dr. Puig? List of bills are in your packet for your review. If you have any questions, please email Dr. Puig. Anybody have any questions on that right now? No. Next item, financial statement report, same as list of bills. Any questions? Please get with Dr. Puig so we can get those answered for us. You want to add anything on that, sir? No, ma'am. No? Okay, next item on the agenda, consent agenda items.
I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items.
I second.
I have a first by Mr. Martinez, a second by Ms. Villalobos. Any questions or discussion?
We have a first and a second for action item 10, approval of minutes. Ms. Villalobos,
Aye.
Mr. Cantu, Ms. Garza,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, trustees. Next item, discuss and consider approval of memorandum of understanding between Robstown Independent School District and Heritage Community Services. Dr. Puig.
Thank you, Madam President and trustees. At this time, I'd like to invite Josh Garcia to the podium. I'd like to have Mr. Garcia give a little overview of this item.
Yes, so good evening again, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Quick. So Heritage Community Services are going to, or with your approval, would be partners with us for curriculum that would be instituted through our PE department and our health department to deliver some knowledge for our students in the realm of everything health, right? So the Heritage Community Services, known as Heritage Keepers, our representatives are here with us tonight. Ms. Pacheco locally from Robstown has been pivotal in the information of what our students could be learning in the sense of health. The program is a 450-minute program where it would be about 2 weeks for our 6th through 12th graders that are eligible for that. It's a 100% opt-in service, a class that students could undergo with the help of the Heritage Keepers personnel. Counselors come in, they instruct our students with different topics. Topics could to include sexual abuse, definition of abstinence, male and female reproductive systems, social media dangers, human trafficking, benefits of a healthy marriage, topics such as that. So what happens is the parents are notified, they give an opt-in, 100% opt-in. If a student and parent agrees to go through this curriculum for 2 weeks, they will be going through their PE classes. What that means is if I am a student that does opt in to go through this curriculum, through these classes, during my PE period, I would go with a district personnel plus a Heritage Keeper personnel, a counselor that would deliver the message, deliver the lesson for the day. If I don't, I just go on to my regular PE class. And this would be for 450 minutes, which equates to about 2 weeks, 5 days a week, 5 days out of a week. And so they have all the knowledge of that. There's going to be everything that is delivered to the students is also given to the parents. Obviously, they're informed, but this is a 100% parent consent curriculum that these students would go through.
Perfect. I was going to ask that.
Mm-hmm.
And they would approve it before the curriculum's taught, correct?
Correct.
So they're
yeah.
going to see the whole curriculum before? Okay.
So there would be a time where they get the information, they get to look at it, and then they also make the decision, and then they turn in their forms to the campus personnel. And then we send all those forms to Heritage Community Services. They prepare everything. They prepare all the materials. They bring in all the materials that are needed, and then they also bring in the personnel. So it's not an extra, person that needs to come that we need to hire. They provide all the services for the school district based on this memorandum.
Do we pay Heritage anything, sir?
No cost, ma'am.
No cost. So what if a parent acknowledges and approves it, and then what if halfway through the curriculum they say, never mind, I want my kid out?
Then they can just get out.
They can just get out.
They can elect to conclude the program for their
So
child.
what this board's approving today is just whether or not to offer it.
Right, the
And then it's
partnership between the provider and the district.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there like a minimum of how many students need to be?
I don't believe Ms. Pacheco no, right? No.
Okay.
Yeah, just as
May we invite Ms. Pacheco up
Yeah,
to say one or two
absolutely.
words about the success of this program?
Yeah.
Mrs. Pacheco, it's great to see you. I know we've been working on this for a long time. We've had a lot of
You look
conversations.
familiar. Did you graduate in 1995?
Do I know you? Do I know you guys? Lots of familiar faces. Dr. Pig and board members. This is my sidekick, Miss Aleman.
Your sidekick looks familiar too.
Yeah. Very familiar. First of all, we are very appreciative of the opportunity to be presenting to you guys today and to be, we're looking forward to it. We're hoping that it is approved because we have been working on this, with you guys for we're going on a year now, almost a year. But for a couple of years, we have been wondering, why aren't we in Robstown? Why aren't we in Robstown? We've been teaching at CCISD since 2015. So the question's always been there, like, why aren't we there? And we're finally almost there. So we're looking forward to it. It's a great curriculum. It's a message of empowerment and of success for the students. And so we are looking forward to it. Do you have any questions for us?
Can you give us one example of a curriculum item that you would be interested, that you love, that you wish Robson would have right now? Just one.
So I'm gonna actually, she's in the classroom right now.
Okay.
And she's like very passionate right now. She's actually told me a story today. So I'm gonna let her, talk to you guys about what is like one of our strongest lessons to you.
Well, one of my favorite lessons is, well, we do a lot of lessons, but it's called Sex is Like Fire. So that lesson is where we touch on, we talk on human trafficking, we talk about social media dangers, we talk about dating, relationship violence, relationship red flags, anything, like we talked about consent, grooming, like the kids really, they're really intrigued about that with that lesson, especially because we give a lot of information on either documentaries we've seen, news situations that we've encountered, or even messages that the coaches have shared with us on what's going on in the school. And when they start understanding that it's happening to fifth graders, because at first they're like, well, what do I need to know this? I'm just in middle school. But when you let them know that, fifth graders are, participating in some of these things, they don't understand, like, why, fifth grade. So that's one of my favorite lessons, but it's.
And what is this called again? What did you call it?
Sex is Like Fire.
Okay, I thought that's what you said.
Because it's not, so the whole thing is, it's not the fire, it's not the sex. It's with whom and when it's happening, like in a safe environment or not a safe environment.
Well,
So that's
I
how
know,
we,
I know,
uh-huh.
I can kind of relate to what you're saying on that, because my granddaughter, who's in 4th grade right now, she's already dealing with little girls talking about boyfriends and little boys' girlfriends, and I'm like, oh, what?
Yes.
No.
So-
And with her, I'm just glad that she's in the mentality of like, ew, you gotta be a teenager, I'm like, yeah. Throw that one.
Yes, and so in that message that we give them, because we are a risk avoidance class, so we talk about like any risks that are out there, not just sex, it's drugs, alcohol, peer pressure, bullying, anything, even if they come up with random questions, if we don't have the answer for them right then and there, we'll tell them, we'll get back with you. We'll go do our research and come back and give them the answer. We don't want them to walk away questioning anything that we talked about. But that particular lesson, Sex is Like Fire, sex in and of itself is not, it's not good or bad. It's the perimeters, the boundaries that you set up. And we're teaching them, we show them how to build a fireplace, and we relate it to, say, like making a barbecue. If you build a fire in a safe place, you can make a barbecue. Fire is a good thing. But if you build a fire outside of that perimeter, it could be dangerous. And so we compare that to sex.
In our conferences, I know that I've attended some classes where we've had sex trafficking. That they monitor. So that's been one of the big things that they addressed with us, and the signs. I would look, to observe the kids, what they may be going through. So that's kind of like, it's really beneficial for them,
Yeah.
to build, and it's also for the teachers to recognize these things. It can't just necessarily be directed to the kids, but to the teachers to recognize the signs, pay attention to those things. I know they've got so much on their plate already, they do, but it's these kids that slip through the cracks that we oversee, that kind of like, okay, we're so focused on this over here that we miss this, and that's how we lose these kids. Because they're using these kids now to be able to say, you know what, go there and get your friend, bring them to me.
Right.
Or go get, your cousin, bring her to me, and they're using these kids to do this, bribing them to be able to get those other kids involved in this stuff. And if they're from broken homes or unstable backgrounds, that it's tempting for them. And in this day and age, money right now is what's there, so they'll bribe for that.
Right.
And there's something explicit in our program, and we don't just talk about that, we talk about, values, setting goals, setting boundaries, healthy boundaries, healthy relationships. So curriculum covers so many different topics, but it's nothing, that's one of the questions people always ask is it explicit? It's nothing explicit.
It's educational. Educational.
It's all, research-based,
Medically accurate.
accurate information.
Yes. And Ms. Garza, you asked earlier about parents. We do have a parent meeting 1 week before class, and we invite the parents to come in. That's their time to ask us any questions. We have our curriculum, ready for them to look through. we want to be transparent. We want them to ask questions. We want them to be concerned about what's being taught in
Right.
the classroom.
Yes.
We also drop off a binder at the school in case parents want to come look at the curriculum before before their child takes the class.
Love that.
Nice. Like the
What grade is this? What grade do you?
6 to 12.
6 to 12.
And you mentioned just, is it a once a year thing? Or like if we do this, it would be just once, the 2 weeks this year? And then
And you're done.
next year, if we want to do that again, we just go through this process again? Okay.
We go to each school at CCISD right now. We're going to each middle school once a year.
Okay.
For so many years.
Yeah, we've been approved for.
To the PE? To the PE? Oh, 3 years. Okay, nice.
Mrs. Pacheco, Ms. Solomon, we met at least a year and a half ago, went through the curriculum, asked you for data, you sent data on the impact of it. It's tremendous, the amount of preparation you all have put into this, and really the commitment to its success. And I read all of it, and thank you for your patience. Here we are, as you said, and we're ready to get moving. So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. We're excited. Thank you for letting us hound you at the baseball games, softball games, everywhere. Mr. Quigg, don't forget us.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, but it truly was a partnership. Obviously, we did also have our friends from Heritage Community Services present to SHAC. So they did approve they did look at the curriculum. They did look at everything that their services would provide. So SHAC was involved in the decision making as well. And also the campus principals. Of course, we had our meetings with the campus principals as well about the curriculum. And so everybody was, involved in the decision makings tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Dr. Puig, your recommendation?
I'd like to recommend the board approve the memorandum of understanding between Robstown ISD and Heritage Community Services as presented.
Trustees, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
First by Mr. Martinez, second by Ms. Villalobos. Any questions or discussion?
We have a motion and a second to approve action item number 11. Ms. Villalobos?
Aye.
Mr. Cantu? Aye. Ms. Garza?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
ladies.
Thank you, Dr. Puig. Thank you, ladies. Next item on the agenda, closed session.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into closed session at 7:27.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. Any questions or discussion?
We have a first and a second to go into closed session. Ms. Villalobos?
Aye.
Mr. Cantu? Ms. Garza?
Aye.
Myself, aye. We are now going to closed session at 7:28.
The board would now convene in closed session and pursuant to sections 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. The board will adjourn into closed sessions for the purpose of considering the appointments, employments, evaluations, resignations, reassignments, duties, discipline, or dismissal of employees. Discussion of extension of certified and non-certified contracts for administrators, directors. Discussion and renewal of employment contracts for teachers, librarians, counselors, and nurses. Thank you.